Hi, welcome to FMCG by Alex. Today I would like to talk to you about snacks, a deep dive into the category. So, as usual with these deep dives, let's go over the subcategories first. So, you have chips and crisps, nuts and seeds, popcorn, biscuits and cookies, confectionery, cereal bars, granola bars, fruit snacks, pretzels, rice cakes, rice crackers, savory snacks, and ethnic and specialty snacks. Let's look at each of these individually. Let's start with a category I've had quite a lot of exposure to, which is chips and crisps. I used to work for Snack King Kong. That's a cassava chips company, but they also made other brands and other varieties of chips from fruit to vegetable to potato, etc. Now, one of the things that is really typical for chips and crisps is that the flavor innovations in the last decade have really spiraled out of control. So you used to have uh, in the Netherlands, basically the normal, the salted one, and you used to have the paprika variety, and that's it. So there was cheese onion at some point, and once in a while another flavor popped up over the years. But in the last decade, it's really exploded with varieties of flavors where you see in the supermarket a lot of different choices. This really differs per country. So Europe has very specific choices per country. So you have UK. They have like a more like a vinegary type of flavor palette. In Germany, yeah, that might be more of a salted palette. So maybe not so much the exotic varieties. While in the Netherlands, you have a variety of other flavors that are popping up. So less unhealthy variants gain traction. I'm saying less unhealthy because, you have chips that are, let's say, fried without oil. Now that's one of the things that considered to be less unhealthy. So the calorie count is less in those varieties than in normal chips. It's still not a healthy snack, but I mean, this is the trend these days. Then it's typified by low price, so it's quite a bulky product. So you have quite a big bag of chips where like it's a lot of air you're moving. That's basically what I'm trying to say, and it's very fragile because of that. It's a lot of damages during transport, especially the bags. If you look at the other types of the cylinders, for example, yeah, that's maybe less fragile during transport, but the traditional bag or aluminum foil bag basically is very, very easy to pop. You will always have losses during transport, so handling is a very important thing. Nuts and seeds. Now, this is something that again has regional popularity for certain varieties. It's a higher margin item. So if you look at supermarkets in Europe, they love to sell this stuff because the margins are quite enormous compared to the other food categories that they're selling. And there's a lot of innovation in seasoning. So again, this really differs per country. If I look at a country like Indonesia, they still sell this. You see the picture below, the one in the shell. There's a lot of these varieties where you have like cocktail nuts, where they have a small layer, and the peanut itself is actually the nucleus. But uh, in Europe, you have various countries where they have various varieties, various flavors that are more popular in these countries. So you're looking at, for example, the Netherlands. You have transparent packaging with where you can see the product, which is also with chips, by the way. Really, we need to see what is in it. While most Asian markets, they really want to close the packaging. The packaging really has a um, some sort of image on it rather than that you can see what is in it. The philosophy behind it in the Netherlands and in some other European countries is that to see whether the product is broken inside, so you have chips or nuts or whatever, you can see what is, whether it's good, whether it's actually tasty. And in Asia, they have less need for that. The tradition there is okay, close it off and use all the available packaging to put the picture and the description on it. So this trend towards dry roasting of peanuts, which is again a less unhealthy way of not that peanuts are unhealthy in itself, but they're quite fat. But dry roasting, yeah, you don't use oil. You actually dry roast these peanuts, which is a different process, which again, reduces your calorie intake. Then one of my son's favorites, popcorn. It's very bulky if you sell it ready to eat. There are quite a lot of producers that have these kits where you make it at home. You put the popcorn at home, you heat it up, and then it pops. Yeah, that's why it's called popcorn also. If you buy it ready-made, there are various flavors other than the traditional sweet and salty. You have caramel flavor, you have chocolate flavor. Like I've seen the most outrageous flavor combinations already. So they're experimenting very much with flavor innovation. And it's a very unique snack because it's linked to an activity. Normally, when you go to the cinema, yeah, popcorn is like almost like a tradition. Even if you don't like popcorn, you still might, order popcorn. And watching a movie or TV at home, obviously, or a party, then popcorn is one of the snacks you would put, on your side table. That's probably the biggest category, biscuits and cookies. So there are very seasonal peaks in consumption. Really depends on the market again, but typically this is consumed 365 days a year, but the peaks are more in the colder months in Europe and during the holiday seasons in Asian countries and also the Middle East. So you have this thing with gifting, so gifting and bundling opportunities where the brand Oreo. I used to work for a milk company. We used to once a year, we would really for the Ramadan and the Lebaran, which is sorry, Eid Mubarak in plain Arab. So the annual Muslim celebrations, they uh, would bundle milk with Oreo biscuits. So our milk with Oreo biscuits, ultra milk, and it would be sold very successfully as a package. Now, basically, biscuits have a bundling opportunity because you can sell it into a very nice tin. So there are a lot of gift packages. You can make it, suitable for even for tourists to bring home if you don't know anything else. To bring also on, like a visit to friends and family or a birthday. Very nice cookie tin because the tin can be used later on for something else. And this is a category for all ages. So if you look at candy, which is something we're going after this, it's more for kids, and this is something that is consumed by everyone. Yeah, until the day you die, basically you eat cookies. That's the thing that comes down to that. I already mentioned confectionery. That's like sweets, chocolate, etc. It's event linked if you talk about chocolate. So Valentine's Day, you have various things like Easter, where in some countries the Easter bunny is hiding Easter eggs. Now, that's usually made of chocolate. So there are various things you can do with chocolate. The nice thing about chocolate, of course, is that you can make it into various shapes. So other than just a plain chocolate bar, there are so many things that people make, beautiful things that people make from chocolate. That's the reason that it's easy to link to events, and also a lot of the tourist products are made of chocolate, obviously, for that particular reason, because you can make something into whatever mold you actually can get your hands on. Important is that it's temperature controlled, so it's a challenge to sell it in tropical climate. If you expose it to sunlight, your chocolate will be gone before you can blink. So it's not good for the. So there are different ways to make chocolate. The melting temperature of chocolate a little bit higher, obviously, but in general, just keep out of the sunlight, keep out of heat. You have to temperature control it. Not that it has to be in a chiller or anything like that, but you should make sure it's not too hot in the place you sell it. That also goes for countries like Europe or places like Europe or North America, where we have seasons where it's very cold and very warm. Now, in the summer, you will not sell that much chocolate, so it's a bit of a dip in chocolate sales in the summer, while the colder months are, of course, party time for chocolate makers, and usually capacity problems. So until now, I've never seen a chocolate maker saying like, "Oh, I have spare capacity for the festive months." So it's still a very fast growing category. Then candy. So we're talking about chocolate, but candy is, of course, sweets are also part of the confectionery confectionery category. So it's primarily for children. You have, of course, also adults who eat it, but something that is very recent trend is halal candy. So for various yeah, ethnic food stores, there are special things from, let's say, Haribo, the big brands. They all find it important to look at halal as a certification for their brand. So they not don't have a huge variety yet, but you see that trend coming because they're looking for growth, and where is the growth in places where you're not selling yet. So um, having said that, there are some candy products that are marketed not only exclusively to kids, but mostly children are, of course, the either the buyers or the influences in the decision making process. Then we have cereal bars and granola bars. So that is, in essence, like an energy bar. An energy bar has instant effect, a healthy image. So you're on the way, you don't have time to eat something, but you still need to, be able to focus for like 1 or 2 hours. So an energy bar is, yeah, or cereal bar, granola bar, to make sure your hunger feeling is suppressed for a while, so you can make it to that, bridge it to the proper dinner and or proper lunch, and basically gives you a boost of energy. Now, it has a healthier image, not necessarily that it is healthier, because some of these things, depending really on the type of bar, it's can be loaded with sugar as well. So look very carefully. Don't assume that that is all a very healthy product. But the healthy image is there. So there are really also bars that are very healthy. They also have like raw bars, which are really made of raw ingredients in essence. So these things are, healthier than the normal cereal and granola bars. It's convenience items on the go, like I mentioned. If you're hungry and it's not dinner time or lunchtime yet, okay, let's pick up, the cereal bar or granola bar, and it has regional popularity. So if I see, for example, Asia might be less than the US. US might be less than, also might be more than Europe, or vice versa, depending really on the country. Then fruit snacks. Fruit snacks are, now in essence, include also dried fruit. So dried fruit is seen as a healthier option. The thing is, with dried fruit, of course, the sugar content is higher. So not necessarily that it is so healthy, but of course, if you look at it, okay, either I'm eating a chocolate bar or some dried fruit. Of course, dried fruit is less bad to eat. It's a limited market, so not that many people, buy it. So the prices are also still quite high. It's a lifestyle product, so you see specialty shops sell it. Some countries, it's a staple food. So definitely certain varieties of products that are dried and also seasonal, like so maybe for Ramadan or for various other holidays in various countries, you have this as a delicacy. Um, as a general category, it's quite small. So the crossover from dried fruit to, yeah, fruit snacks basically is fruit chips. So yeah, it's a crossover to chips and crisps, so it becomes mainstream. So you have banana chips is a good example. I've worked in Indonesia, I've worked in the Netherlands. These two countries, the banana chips, plantain chips, are quite popular. Now, these are examples of crossovers to another category. And then something that no doubt can bring some association with Germany, because yeah, the word is also German, pretzel. It has regional popularity, so not only in Germany, but there's a lot of pretzels being eaten in America. It's also linked to events. It's maybe something that is worthwhile to say. If you look at a pretzel, maybe go to a carnival, go to an event. Yeah, it's something that is on the go. There are artisan varieties, so you have handmade ones. You have really, yeah, something that is as the air of a bit of an exclusive sort of food. But you also have the supermarket variety, obviously, that you can buy anywhere. You have hard, soft, and flavored varieties. For the rest, yeah, the category is reasonably small for most of the countries in the world, but still, it is a category in its own. That's another one for the health nuts, rice cakes and rice crackers. It's highly popular in Asia, and like Asia and rice, it's a staple food there. So logically, they were probably the first ones to make rice crackers and rice cakes out of it. It has a health and diet image, not necessarily that it is, yeah, like a healthy food or anything like that, but the health and diet image is that, yeah, that it doesn't contain anything, so it doesn't contain any calories, therefore nothing fattening. Thing is also, if you're peckish, yeah, eat a rice cracker, then in essence you filled your stomach with nothing in essence. So there's quite a truth in it. So there are plain and flavored varieties. I personally love the ones they sell in the Netherlands. That's rice crackers with like a small chocolate coating, like wafer thin chocolate coating. Yeah, that's on one side, and like I said, that's a combination of something that is not unhealthy, but maybe something that is more indulgent. It just gives the product a little bit more flavor. Um, this is something where you will find it in mainstream retail. I think in every country they have it in mainstream retail. Popularity really wildly differs per country. Another huge category, I think, worldwide: cheese, meat, or vegetable based savory snacks. So you have, in essence, like cheese sticks, things that are snacks that are flavored with cheese are, I think, omnipresent in the world. So it's a mainstream popularity, but almost every country has some sort of variety, local favorite, local brand, which, yeah, I guess, is the number one in each country. And it's marketed to all ages. And in certain countries, especially in the Netherlands, where I come from, yeah, it's a party favorite. So if you invite guests, yeah, you make sure there is, a dish with that sort of snacks on the table when your guests arrive, so they have something to nibble on. And then we come to the last category that can include almost anything: ethnic and specialty snacks. It's like highly local taste profiles. Let's say something that is, for example, only eaten in Japan. A wasabi piece, for example, that's something that has made its way outside of Japan, obviously, but it's highly local taste profiles, highly specialists, and usually also small scale production, because, yeah, not many people eat it outside of the country that it's made. Can be quite popular in the country itself, obviously. Exported to the diaspora worldwide. So, when you are, like I'm Dutch, if I live in another country, which I've done, I'm always keen to see, oh, hey, they also have a typical Dutch snack in this country. They have imported it, or one of the specialty food shops in Jakarta, for example, they would sell Dutch snacks or imported Dutch snacks. And then, even though you pay like 4 or 5 times the normal price you would pay in the Netherlands, they say, okay, like, I've not tasted that for half a year, then it sounds mighty good to to spend the money on it. So that's an example of it: ethnic and specialty snacks. So again, really differs per country. It's more like a amalgamation of all different varieties that don't fall into the mainstream categories. Now, some important pointers on marketing snacks. Snacks, in essence, have constant innovation at its core. So there are a lot of new product launches, a lot of failures also in the market. So you have, of course, the golden evergreen, or the, yeah, golden oldies evergreen type of snacks, like, okay, potato chips with salt. Yeah, that's something that will never go away. It's still very popular. Most people, go for that. But there are constant flavor innovations that need to be tested, need to be tried. There have even been phases in life cycles of products where, like, one of the largest potato chips manufacturers of the world would launch two different varieties, and people had to vote. So that's the way to test, and also, yeah, of course, test and create a marketing gimmick. And then the one that sold the most, that would be, a product that will be added to the regular lineup. Obviously, this is something that has a lot of fans for the one that isn't implemented in the end. So possibly both of these varieties will end up on the shelf sooner or later. There are things that disappear and come back. So, innovation, something that was a good idea in the 80s, maybe formulation is a little bit different due to food safety or certain ingredients have been changed or banned by the FDA. So there are certain changes that are required to make in order to reformulate certain snacks. So that can also be part of the innovation part and relaunching a product in essence. So it's a high volume category, but that also means that a lot of companies are active in this space. So you have a lot of competition in the snacks category. It makes it difficult to stand out in the crowd. So that also is the core reason for constant innovation and the requirement of constant innovation and new product launches. So uh, this is the thing that yeah, it makes it also very hype sensitive. So if you in this day and age work with the right influencers, you can propel a brand. A good example was I used to work for Universal Food in Indonesia, which is the owner of Snack King Kong. Snack King Kong was endorsed by Raffi Ahmad. Raffi Ahmad is a very famous TV presenter, media personality, entrepreneur, multi-talented guy. He actually is someone who, yeah, by himself, I think, with his wife, who also is very active in the same space he is, and they were, I think, with their son, they were also working together for, yeah, launching different brands for the entire family. So Snack King Kong was highly successful. In 2016 to 2017 and 2018. So they were really the yeah, highlights of the existence of the brand. This was constantly with Rafi Ahmad doing activities to promote the brand. People were looking at, oh, this is Rafi Ahmad's brand. So that was the reason that the popularity was skyrocketing at that particular time. Later on, when yeah, I guess his schedule became a little bit too full because yeah, at some point people develop and grow, and yeah, he didn't have that much time anymore to do things for Snack King Kong, or there was maybe a more lucrative contract at some point that came across his way. So, and you saw also when he was no longer endorsing it actively, or a bit half-hearted at some point, yeah, that it really plummeted. The sales plummeted, and when sales plummet, you get deleted by certain retailers. Now, yeah, that was a vicious cycle we were unable to get out of with the brand. So, and at this moment, the brand simply doesn't exist anymore in the market. It's dormant. So, in essence, you see how an influencer can boost it to the great heights that a brand's potential can bring you, but when they are no longer behind it, yeah, you see also how deep you can fall. So nothing to the detriment of Mr. Rafi Ahmad. Obviously, it's his good right. It's also contracts that are signed and contracts that are at some point ending. But just giving an example of the impact of an influencer. So with the right influencer or the right bunch of influencers, you can really propel something to the yeah, great heights. Having said that, we've also tried it with several other influencers, which had very mixed success. Some of it did quite well, some of it not so well. So for various reasons. So that's the thing that I wanted to mention about marketing. Linked to that, of course, is sales and distribution. So with snacks, availability is what drives sales primarily. So when it's there, so you need to be in as many outlets as possible. Every nook and cranny of the market, you need to be there. If you're not there, you will not be sold. Obviously, that is clear. So part of the marketing, which maybe links to the previous slide, is sales and distribution. So availability, being everywhere. Hey, this is everywhere, so that must be a big brand. Now, it's usually a wholesale category. It's part from the specialty snacks and ethnic and specialty snacks, and the more premium brands, obviously. Toblerone, that is more a premium brand of chocolate, but usually mass market snacks are a wholesale category. So, wholesale category means that it's bulky, meaning you can't afford to go to a retailer directly with your sales force from the distributor and say, "Oh, would you like a carton of this? Would you like a carton of that?" It's simply not efficient. So wholesalers are places where you put a lot of stock in one go, and then retailers come to you, or they deliver to retailers for very tiny margins. But that's the point. So the thing is that it makes it more difficult to penetrate the market, because if you invest in going directly, so bypassing wholesalers and going directly to retail, so in order to not have this problem, to have direct access to the market, at some point your unit economics are not going to match. So you will have, your cost will just simply be too high. You will not make a profit anymore. The thing is that the way to do it is if you access wholesalers. So wholesalers are able to, with the right program, push volume into the market. So any customer coming, they will push it to these guys, to these small retailers. And from your own distributor, your own sales force, your own promotion, you target retailers directly. So let's say the first 2 or 3 times you still invest in a salesman going directly to the retailer, but after that the wholesaler takes over. So the demand is created that the wholesaler takes over the supply, because in the long run, you can bleed a little bit, but if you bleed too much, you die. That's what it comes down to. So mostly this is a bulky and low value product, like I mentioned. So that's the reason why distribution is quite challenging. Value is quite low, so you need to sell a lot in order to have a minimum order value for the product. Even distributors, when they bring a lot of different brands to the store, that might still be a challenge. So it can only be in combination with a lot of different products that are higher value, lower value. Ideally, when you are in sales and distribution, what you want is a very compact product with a very high margin. No, this is the opposite. So you're looking at a mix. If you have products that are compact and have a higher margin, then you can also afford to bring products like this which are bulky and have a lower value, a lower margin for yourself. Yeah? Lower value means also lower margin, because even if you get 30% of a dollar, that's 30 cents. But 30% of $5, that's of course a much bigger amount that you can count on. So, I mean, that's the difference with regards to specialty snacks and higher margin items. So, just wanted to make sure that I share this with you before, leaving you to it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please feel free to reach out to me at alex@devriessalesconsultancy.com. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I see you in the next video.